prior to getting into roofing, I was actually in the solar industry. That's largely all financing. And so when I came over to roofing, I understood the power of financing and how valuable it could be for the business and for the homeowner. So we work with the National Credit Union that has just some absolutely amazing interest rates. And it's a huge, competitive advantage. And it's huge for homeowners. It really just helps them out in situations because on the retail roofing side, especially, you're not, it's a lot of times it's kind of a blindside thing. You might know your roof's old, but you don't know it's going to be that old. And then you might think you might be able to just do a minor repair, but it's a 25-year-old roof. And so you're out of the blue getting hit with a, $20,000 price tag. And then on the insurance side, as we see increased deductibles,
and what happened then is it absolutely exploded. I thought we were going to maybe do it.
I think financing is going to play a huge role, and it's something that every roofer should be able to offer. Not only because it helps your core business, but it helps your customers too, and it also does a huge help on upgrades when people want to maybe go from a shingle to a metal roof, or add the ridge vent, or add an extended warranty. It becomes a lot more affordable when it's an extra $10 a month instead of $1,500.
Yeah, that's what I see. Like, so we're working in HVAC and plumbing and some other industries now, doing a little bit more. We have 75 roofing clients, but we're starting to get into some other niches. And the way that they look at it is just like it's the upgrades thing. Like it's so much easier to get upgrade. The cost, the average ticket goes way up when you offer financing. It's not just about like getting somebody to afford something. It's about getting them to afford what they actually want.
100%. 100%. Yeah. And if it's like, hey, here's our base model with a 10-year warranty, or for an extra $18 a month, you can get a 25-year warranty and you're going to live in this home forever. Who doesn't do that upgrade? And so you're adding margin to the job, and you're also then adding customer experience because now they got what they really wanted, and now they're super happy about it. And you were able to do it. And it might be the reason you won the job, because maybe your competitor didn't offer it and they really want that, maybe it's a metal roof, or maybe it's an upgraded underlayment, or the class 4 shingle, or whatever it is they really want. You're the only company that provides a pathway for them to get what they want because you have financing. And so then, price largely goes out the window at that point. It's about what you can deliver on the service. And you're the only company that can deliver that if you're the only one offering financing.
I gotta fuck with you for a second. Did you just say they want the upgraded underlayment? Can you imagine a homeowner? I'm just messing with you, Cody, but can you imagine somebody be like, I need that sweet underlayment?
Well, that goes to part of our strategy. We do what's called assignment selling. So prior to meeting with one of our sales professionals, we do ask homeowners to watch a series of videos that educate them.
Okay.
And one of them is, if you want the best, call us and ask for the peel and stick. And people will come to the call saying, hey, we're about to go over the packages, and they'll say, I want the peel and stick.
Really? Okay. You got me, man. I didn't think that was a real thing. I don't see a lot of companies that educate their customers enough to care about the underlayment. I mean, not to say that I think everyone should, but it's funny that you're educating them that much that they're like, they have an opinion on that.
It's the single best video I've ever made in my company. We made it probably 6 months into me starting this. Right now, without it being listed on YouTube, and it's just directly sent to customers, 3,100 views. So that means 3,100 potential customers have seen this video and have seen the value of upgrading. And we cool. Yeah, our base model package, we only sell 28% of the time. So 72% of the time, they're upgrading either to our mid-level or to our top-end package. And it's all through them self-educating, because they come to the table saying, I want something, and then they see the price. And that is very, very powerful for someone to say, I want something, how much is it? Versus I say, hey, you want this, here's how much it is. It just changes the dynamic with it. And it's a better roof. And when homeowners have that education and they know they want something and it's an investment in the home, it makes it so much easier for us on the other end, rather than trying to dictate to somebody.
So now we're fully into this. Hey, what else should every roofing company learn from a company that does digital only? Because you have to be a higher level in certain ways, like with your stuff. Because like sometimes the in-person sales might cover up problems that you have around the perimeter of what you're doing. So in your case, because it's exposed, everything, he can't make up for it with some, charismatic sales guy in person just being like, come on, just do it. You have to like have
100%.
everything tight.
1000%. And that's why, a lot of people that, when I'm working with other companies and they're like, hey, should I start doing the digital sales process? And I'm like, no, you should master the in-home first, because that's way more forgiving. If we get on a call and I'm doing something non-traditional, right? I'm selling over the phone versus selling in person, and it's not smooth, the person on the other end is going to be like, well, why didn't they just come sit down like everybody else? It's already going to be something that's used as a negative instead of a positive. And same thing, like if we're more in person and I don't have the estimate ready, I'm like, oh, that's okay. I'm just human. But if it's over the phone and I don't have my stuff ready to go, it's like, why aren't you in person? So everything defaults to what people expect if it's not better than the expectation. So 1000% we have to be sharper, and we also have to build up more trust up until that point, because if we're in person, I can look you in the eye, I can shake your hand. That builds up a certain amount of trust. There's body language. There's no body language on the phone. It's all tonality. And so you have to then build up trust in other ways. Because I tell my team to think about sales as, a piggy bank of trust, and everything we do, we're depositing. We got to get to $1. If I come out in person, I might have $1 in my pocket, and I can put that whole dollar in the piggy bank all at once. Over the phone, there is no way you are going to do that in a single call without seeing other things about the company. So that's where we have the YouTube channel. That's where we have all the amazing reviews. That's where we have the well-defined process that homeowners understand in a locked-in sales presentation, because all of those are going to deposit the money in. And then all the sales professional has to do is put the last maybe 10 cents in there. And so everybody else that's doing in-home can take that same concept and still build up a massive amount of trust prior to it. And that's one of the things that we coach a massive amount, in the organization where I coach in, the RSRA. We really teach that, and we have some videos in there that show people how to do it and help people build their media, because I think that's the biggest thing missing for roofers at large is just media in general, is really understanding how to build up that trust pre-appointment, because so many people are able to deposit a whole dollar, in that one appointment. They get kind of used to that, and they don't realize how much they're leaving on the table if they just did a little bit on the front end, how much more their close percentage would shoot through the roof.
I think I'm going to steal that piggy bank thing from you, because that's really good.
Thank you.
That's really good, because I talk about that all the time, right? Like I've, marketing guy, read a lot of books about trust, the speed of trust, the trust edge, it is really about trust. Like so much of digital marketing is about trust. They can't see, with you guys, they can through company cam, they're seeing the roof go on and all the different things. But when you don't know what you're buying sometimes as a homeowner, like how can we make the invisible more visible? Another really great book is Selling the Invisible. And it talks about making more of these things visible. And you're doing that with the digital process. You also have to figure out how to make trust happen when some things are invisible. And I think I'm doing a talk this Friday at something about how digital leads are different, right? Like comparatively to when somebody's referred, which it's like there's already like a bunch of trust there. You're 90% deposited on the bank. We got to create all this stuff, like you're talking about the piggy bank. Like, what else can we do to make that trust happen? And it starts on your website, or it starts on the Google ad, or it starts on the reviews. It starts in all these digital ways. And if people live, like some people have an embarrassment of riches in regards to they lived off of referrals for 10 years. So it's very confusing to them when they're trying to expand the network from that core group that it expands very slowly, like referrals expand like this. So if you can then market hard and thus add this, but you had that trust gap between referrals and completely like strangers on the internet. And that's, I think, the hardest part for a lot of people. In the video, like you said, like that's the biggest thing. Really quick, how do you send those out? So when you're sending a video out that has the underlayment on it or the different packages, what does that look like? And like, how is it sent out? Like specifically and tactically, like when and like, what are you using for that?
Yeah. So 95+% of the time it's done via text. We try to do everything through text. If you just look at any of the numbers on it, 98% of texts get read versus, less than 70% of emails, and that's dropping every day. And if you just think in your personal life, even when I get a spam text, I still read it. I'm like, okay. It's like 30% off. I still read it though. And so we just try to make it as easy as possible for people to buy from us and for people to learn from us. And we've just found that even the 75-year-old grandma probably prefers text over email. It's everybody can pretty much text now.
What platform are you using, or is it manual?
So we just actually switched over to Hatch. We'll be using Hatch now. We were using Ring Central and like another app, Be Texting, that's kind of sat on it so we could schedule it. But it was Hatch is going to be a better option for us moving forward.
Hatch, and there's another one, Chirp, which is like on the HVAC plumbing side, because they have databases and they're always activating them, like to say, hey, get your checkup or whatever. Those kind of companies have this down and they swear by these things. You know what I mean? To be texting all the time and to also have the ability to send out like a mass, like, hey, we've got like this opportunity, which if roofing companies had more services like gutter cleaning or Christmas lights or whatever else, it would be an opportunity. It does seem like, and I know you're into private equity and you've joined up with a firm. What are you seeing in the sister companies or whatever that you're working alongside of now? What are some things that you've kind of gleaned and grabbed from some of the other ones that you guys are working alongside?
Yeah, just that there's massive opportunity to take what companies are already doing and leverage 2025 basically. It always blows my mind whether it's one of the other brands or we were just at an RSRA event last week, and I was sitting next to a guy that did 50 million basically all off door knockers in one area, and it was just like, wow, I do zero off door knockers, and so it's just being able to leverage some of this modern stuff with that core footprint can in a lot of cases it's a massive leverage point that you can have huge impact with very little minimal effort. And I think the companies that don't get complacent with hey, we're doing 30 million this year and I don't need marketing because I think more and more is shifting each year. Less and less people want their door knocked. Each people want more and more all in the digital space. Each year people talk to their neighbors less, which means less referrals. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, it's irrelevant in business. We just have to look at the reality, and that kind of that's on the downturn versus people getting information on the digital spaces on the upturn. So if you do those a large volume of that, how many reviews are we getting out of that? Because you should be able to get 500 reviews in a year. And by in 2 years have 1,000 reviews and just have massive leverage on the digital side that supplements your guys that are door knocking, and that's what we're seeing, and that's what we're helping a lot of companies do, is seize on that before the shift happens,